Hello, everybody, and welcome. How is everybody? I personally have been going a little stir crazy this time of year, midwinter. I don't know if it's a lack of vitamin D or what it is, but I just don't feel like myself. I usually suffer with a few migraines for a few days in a row, and I lose my oomph this time of year and find myself procrastinating and just not doing a very good job taking care of myself. Does anybody else feel that way? I don't know if it's just me, but I think it's a thing. Last week, I was having such a hard time. I was feeling depressed and anxious and everything. Like I said, for me, it's common this time of year, so I kind of expect it. But every year I think I'm going to beat it. I think, nope, things are going to be different. And then here we go again. So last week, though, I was feeling so overwhelmed, and I thought something had to change. I wasn't taking good care of myself. I was just procrastinating on everything, and I just decided to sit down at my desk and make a list of all of the things that I was anxious about that day. And when I had it in front of me, I was able to break everything down and think, I can't solve all of my problems at once. It's just too much. But what I can do, I can just take each little thing that's causing me anxiety and just write it down. And then afterwards, I can write beneath that and write down little things that I can do to make progress so that I don't feel like that's holding me back. So I did that. And one of the things that I wrote down was that I felt anxious about how late I was getting to bed. When I wrote it down, though, I thought, well, what's the problem? And I thought, well, I sit there and I don't want to get ready for bed because I get too tired and I don't want to get up and go to bed. So I just sit there. And then I think about going to bed and I'm thinking, I'm too tired. I don't want to. So one little thing I wrote down that I could change about that is getting ready for bed right after supper. So I made this change. I started getting ready for bed right after supper. Well, one thing I noticed that happened after I did this was that when I was sitting up and watching TV or whatever it is I do, scrolling or whatever it is I do, I noticed that freeing myself from that obligation of getting ready for bed made me feel like I could get to bed earlier. And I thought, how did that work? But it did. And so instead of waiting and procrastinating and not getting ready for bed and making the night get later and later, I ended up going to bed when I was tired. And when I went to bed when I was tired, I was able to sit on the side of my bed and have this little routine that I do before I laid down, which was just putting some lotion on my face and my neck and spritz a little bit of rose water mist on my face, do some stretching and deep breathing to help calm me down. And I tell you what, it's been so nice doing this that I actually look forward to bed now and my new routine rather than avoiding going to bed. And something else that's cool about it is that before bed, I used to have a bedtime snack or whatever, but I also would go to bed and have such bad heartburn. And so now when I get ready for bed earlier, I don't have the heartburn when I get to bed because I'm not eating anything because I've brushed my teeth and I don't want to brush my teeth again. So it solved a lot of problems and I'm getting more sleep and just feeling more rested every day. So that's been awesome. Again, just make a list of everything that you're anxious about. And once you have that list made, under each thing, just write one thing you could do to improve that. Let's say you are feeling really anxious or depressed, if you're going through depression. If life is just hard and you're just having a hard time getting up and doing anything, and you wrote down no motivation or you feel stuck or whatever, then under that you can just write, do a load of laundry or fix my bed. It can be the smallest little thing. Don't put pressure on yourself to do things that you just feel like you can't do right now. You know best what is best for you right now and what might feel overwhelming. And as soon as it does feel overwhelming, stop. Tomorrow, when you wake up, or sometime during the day, make another list. Say, what am I anxious about? And maybe before you even do that list, do that one thing that you did yesterday. So if you made your bed yesterday and that was a big step for you, then make your bed today. And then write down what a new step could be for you today. Maybe it's to fix your bed and pick up the laundry and put it in the hamper or whatever it is. Add little things to it so that every day you're building upon it. Or if you're not able to do that, just stick to your current list that you have and do that for a week straight. See how you feel. If you've had a lot of trouble with anxiety and you are just sitting there just kind of stuck in your anxiety, one of the things you could write down would be maybe deep breathing. Maybe just to look up deep breathing on your phone or your computer and just learn some deep breathing exercises that you can do every day, maybe at a certain time, maybe before bed. Maybe you too, like me, can have a little routine that you do before bed, even rubbing lotion on your face. When you are not used to pampering yourselves, and moms, you know a lot about that you put all your kids' needs first and you forget about yourself. But a lot of times when we're anxious or depressed, we also do that, whether we have kids or not. We forget to take care of ourselves, or it just becomes an entire chore to do it. So make sure you're doing those little things to take care of yourself, and they can be the baby steps. Just make sure to take baby steps. The last thing you want to do is overwhelm yourself and just stop doing everything, because then you're right back to where you were. If you are able, and if you haven't done this already, maybe you could write down just making a call to a therapist or researching, even just researching therapists. That would be huge. Find a good therapist that you want. If you have trauma in your life, then look for a trauma-informed therapist. If you are a Christian who wants a Christian therapist, if that would be important to you, look up Christian therapists in my area. Whatever your need is, what would help you the most, look up that specific thing, because usually the therapist in their description will have that listed as something that they do and that they provide. If one of the things on your list is that you haven't been praying regularly, or you haven't been attending church, or whatever it is, make that little change on there. Say, I'm gonna do this one little thing to pray, even if it's I'm gonna wake up and say, thank you, Jesus, for getting me through the night. I remember in a really tough part of my life where that's all I could do. I could wake up and all I could do is say, thank you, Lord, for getting us safely through the night, me and my kiddos. Sometimes that's all I could do, because it was hard to lift my heart to God because of the heaviness I felt. But at least I was doing something, so I didn't completely desert him. If you're feeling anxious because you are overweight or just out of shape, then maybe one thing you could do would be just to do a lap around the house. Set a little goal for yourself. Like, I'm going to do a lap around the house 3 times, or go up and down the stairs 3 times a day. Or maybe I'm going to walk to the mailbox today, and that is your baby step. Maybe if you're too out of shape to do any exercises, maybe you could just sit in a chair and do some chair exercises. There are plenty of videos out there, and depending on what level you're able to do, maybe you can just start with a low impact exercise. If you have an elliptical machine or any kind of equipment, maybe you can start just by doing a little time on that too. Like I said, keep it really, really simple. So simple that you can build upon it in a week from now, or whatever, 2 weeks from now, whatever works for you. I also encourage you not to dwell on the things that you aren't getting done, especially if you are dealing with stress and depression. Try not to focus on the things you aren't getting done. Make those little lists, stick to those things on the list, and don't overwhelm yourself with more. Only allow yourself to do those little things and maybe spend the rest of the day doing things that you enjoy. Watching your favorite TV program, knitting, crocheting, drawing, doing art, whatever it is. Maybe you do a little hobby or something like that, so that it's almost like a reward for those little things that you did get done. I have always found that if I sit around and stress about those things that I'm not getting done, or I'm just hard on myself for the stress or depression that I'm going through, then I find that things just get worse. I feel so much more overwhelmed. So sometimes just sitting around thinking about these things only makes things worse. So I encourage you, just take a paper and pen and write them out. And even if you're not strong enough right now to work on those things, at least you wrote them down and at least you recognized them. That in itself is progress. So I really encourage you today to take those steps to be better. And in no time, you will find yourself making those little steps and getting closer to your goals no matter what. If you're taking baby steps, even if they're baby steps, you are getting closer. So I just encourage you with that today. And just know that that's all that God expects from you. As long as you're trying, He understands any mental anguish we're going through, any physical anguish we're going through, spiritual anguish. He knows that. He knows, but He will help us along the way too. So make sure to pray for that as well. Just help me to take those baby steps, Lord, and I'm trying, and He'll see you're trying. He wants you to be at your best. Do everything that you can to be the person that He created you to be. Sometimes, though, I just want to acknowledge the people out there who have been trying and they just can't seem to make progress, or their health is just failing. And in that circumstance, make sure you're just keeping your doctor's appointments or doing whatever it is the doctor prescribes or your spiritual advisor prescribes or whatever it is. Just do the basic things that you can do and don't get down on yourself. Hopefully you're able to keep a journal and just write down the things that you are able to change. And even if that's a mental attitude, even if that's being grateful for 10 things per day, even that would help. Because sometimes when we're so focused on the negative, the things we're not able to do, we start to get down on everything and it just gets so overwhelming. So at least if you're saying, I'm grateful for these 10 things per day, at least then you're getting outside of that bubble and you're starting to focus on some good things that you're grateful for, and that will honor God. So I hope this helps you guys. I would be so happy to hear about any little baby steps that you are taking. And I really just hope that this encourages you. So God bless you guys and have a beautiful rest of your week.